I'm going to show you how I use the Medtronic constant glucose monitoring system. I'm very active. I do a lot of sports, so the way that this system works and attaches to your body, it has a filament that will sit underneath the top layer of your skin and constantly transmit your blood sugar levels to the pump. That way you could be sure that your blood sugar levels aren't going too high or too low, and you'll be able to use that information when you're determining how much insulin to use when you're eating, for example. There's a couple problems with the way the system works for me. One with the filament, if it moves at all and pulls out maybe just a tiny bit, even 1/8 of an inch, it changes the reading and it needs to be recalibrated. That takes time, 2-3 hours, up to even a half a day or sometimes a day, depending on what time of day that it happened. The other problem is the way that the tape is sitting on there, it leaves edges that can catch on clothing or other things you might just bump into. That'll move it slightly and also require it to be recalibrated. It's just very touchy. When you're really in active sports, the edges sometimes can dig into your skin, and that doesn't feel very good either. So I have a quick way of taking care of all of that using medical tape. I'm going to go through how I do it, what type of tape that I use, and you'll see how it works for me. It's fantastic. Pull the tab out. Makes it easier. Get that all ready to go. Now you want to use an alcohol swab to clean the area, which I've already done. You want the battery charged, which you can see by the beeps. Already done. I have my regular Medtronic tape that they have you use, and I'm going to use that, as well as a little piece of Hypafix. And I'm going to cut out a piece of Hypafix that I'm going to use to cover the entire thing. Now what I do is I cut these edges off so it stays on a lot easier. The other thing I'm using is the Tegaderm film. This is a nice size, and so here we go. This is where I'm going to put it, right here. Make sure that kind of heat warms it in. Okay, now this is the adhesive tape that's applied from Medtronic. Make sure that it overhangs a bit. Get it on there. Now the heat, like I said, is what makes it hold. So even if you're just using this, make sure to let the heat set it in really well. Now this is when you would normally attach the transmitter, right? And around these edges, it can dig in if you're doing any kind of active sports. So when I take some of this medical tape, go right to the edge, and that's going to prevent those edges from digging in. You'll see what I mean right here. Clips in, Now these edges won't dig in so much. Okay, now this is exactly how it's supposed to go. You can see how the edges can catch. It could pop onto things. So what I do in addition is put the Tegaderm film on just to cover it up. And some people just do this for normal, active people. Just throw that on the ground. All we have to do is cover that over the transmitter so that it won't lift. This is the part where we're really trying to lift, so make sure you get some on that. Right here, right? Make sure that it's in there. It's holding all this edge so that it doesn't flap off. Right? There you go. Now I suppose you could use two of them if you wanted to. Or a bigger one. You could buy them in all different sizes. But if you look, that's in there pretty good. And make sure to use the heat to push it down. Okay, so it's also waterproof, so that's going to help when you're taking a shower, so water doesn't accumulate underneath. Right? And that's normally very good. Now what I do, see this is the sticky plastic tape. So clothing sometimes could drag across it, it might get stuck and it just doesn't look as good. So this helps prevent the clothing from getting stuck as it drags across, but it also another layer to help it from falling off. So get that off. Put that on. There you go. Look how smooth that is. So make sure that this is on there pretty well. You know what? Especially the edges to lift up. So make sure the edges are on pretty well, and use a little bit of heat from your hands. And there you have it. This is not going anywhere. It's not going to lift up. It's not going to catch on your clothes. And it's going to last you the whole duration of this transmitter, which is 6 days. There you go. Hope that helps everybody.